So today I have the joy of introducing you to someone that I know very well, my business partner. She's also a powerhouse young entrepreneur in the world of real estate lending, and she also happens to be my daughter. Her name is Grace Plata, and she is accomplishing amazing things. So, Grace, for people just meeting you, give us the quick version of who you are, how your journey led you to private lending, and what's got you so excited right now.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here and for the warm introduction. We'll jump right into it. My name is Grace Plata. I'm 22 years old and I'm based out of Chicago. I'm a private money broker. And my story is that I had the privilege of being introduced to entrepreneurship at a very young age. I was able to go to business events at 10 years old, and that gave me one of the strongest foundations, I believe, not just for my life but just for where I'd find myself later in business. And what it also did is it gave me so much hunger to consume all things business, entrepreneurship, personal development, people skills, sales, and marketing. And I got to connect with a lot of people there. And so, what one thing that I did through that is when I was 14 years old, I started my first business with my sister. It was a nonprofit model. And one of the goals that we had by the end of it, we were able to build two homes in Nicaragua for the extreme poor, raising over $10,000. And that instilled in me such a proof of concept that not only does business work, it can make a difference, but that I can be really young and do things. So I think it got rid of a big false belief that I had of, oh, I have to wait to do things when I'm older for it to be actually significant. So I would spend the next few years and freelancing, doing marketing, working as an employee. I built businesses, I did social media. I even did little side hustles. I learned how to day trade for a season. But in the back of my mind, I was asking questions about real estate. I knew people who, once they made it big in either marketing or even especially day trading, they would put their money into real estate. So around this time, I'm asking questions, and I think it had been a few years before, but I had read Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad when I was probably maybe 12 or 13. And if I were to be completely frank, I don't know how much I absorbed to be able to like write a paper on it. No, like I didn't do that, but it had flipped a total switch in my mind of realizing that real estate is the way. That when I'm older, right, when I grow up, I want to be an investor. That's what I want to do with my life. So, end of 2023, I'm introduced to this real estate guy on YouTube named Pace Morby. If you know him, you love him, I'm sure. End up joining his community, and I get into wholesaling. I join an incredible team, and I could not have asked for a better crash course in real estate. I got to talk to investors. I was on the disposition side, so I got to talk to these investors buying these properties that this wholesaling team was selling. I got to go through underwriting. I got to learn deal structure. I got to have these conversations. And it's one thing when you're doing a course and when you're watching these videos and you're going through flashcards of what does this mean? What does this mean? It's an entire other ballgame when you're having these conversations and in creative real estate, when you're having these conversations about sub two and seller finance, the best crash course in real estate I could have asked for. So I'm so, so grateful for that. That is my foundation into real estate.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. So the ride's been exciting. I'm sure there's been moments where it's been tough. So your whole entrepreneurial journey has brought you through into the real estate world. But what led you into the money world, the world of private lending?
Yes, yes. While I'm wholesaling, I'm watching all these other people playing in the money game, and I'm hearing that the money is in the money, but I'm not knowing what that means. So I'm making friends with people who are private money lenders. I'm having these conversations with these buyers of these properties. In the back of my head, I'm asking, where are you getting the funding to do this? Like, how are these are amazing projects? Like, and I see the cash flow that you're bringing in. I'm seeing the profit that you're making, but where are you getting the funding? And where the story leads is it was at the right around Thanksgiving of 2024. I was able to attend the Aspire Tour conference with Eddie Wilson and Andrew Cordell. And it ended up being a funnel. So they take you to the next conference of Aspire Real Estate. And I'm there for deal structure. I'm there for wholesaling. Like that's where my brain is still at. I'm there to learn about multifamily because that's where I'm thinking the money is. But on the very last day, they have this guy talk about private money brokering. And where I'm sold is he's talking about again like the money is in the money. And every single piece, he's like shows this big scale. Every single piece of real estate, every single point of real estate, if you are in financing, you are making so many more connections. You have so many more opportunities. You are placing yourself in the right place. You are being invited into spaces that you otherwise wouldn't have been invited to. You are having conversations with people that you otherwise wouldn't have been having conversations with. Because when I'm in wholesaling and I'm, especially in dispositions, I'm only thinking about the property I'm trying to sell, the properties I'm trying to sell. When you're in lending, you are automatically more curious about what everybody else is doing. You have the open-mindedness to be like, what are you working on? Tell me about your deals. Oh my gosh, where did you find that? And you can take an authentic interest because it's not only in what they're doing, but it's if you can figure out a collaboration, you're both excited to be having this conversation. Because not only are you able to fund their projects, now you're solving a problem for them. And you can be so excited about, oh my gosh, let's do this multifamily deal. Let's do this deal. Like, oh my gosh, let's buy this land. Let's totally do this. And I got so, so excited. And I'm looking at this like, okay, like this is what the next pivot is going to be. I'm going to be in lending. I'm going to be where the money is.
And that's a cliche for a reason, right? It's like the money is in the money. And then
Yes.
also, one of the other things they always say in real estate is OPM. What does that even mean? Other people's money. Like, how do I get this? How many bank loans can I get? I mean, I'm not even going to qualify for a bank loan because I don't make, multiple six figures a year to buy property after property. What is it, what does that even look like, right? So that's the journey that led you into private money lending. So tell us, how do you get into these deals?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I do want to set this baseline that I'm not a licensed loan officer. I'm the broker. I do business purpose loans for non-owner occupied properties. So you can't live in it. They're asset based. I need to set that baseline first because I'll have conversations with people like, oh, what does that mean? That's what I am. I'm able to lend on these non-owner occupied asset based loans.
So you have different loan products you can do as an asset-based business purpose lender. What are some of those products that you offer and enjoy sharing with other investors?
Yes, I specialize in DSCR loans. Those are the rental loans, ground up construction, and fix and flip slash rehab loans.
Okay, so if somebody's just getting started, what does that look like?
I would say the DSCR loans. So I'll take a second to explain that, especially I can do it from the beginner standpoint. DSCR stands for debt service coverage ratio. And it's where you're looking at how much a property cash flows. So this would be great for beginners because there are first time investor loans for this. Like there are products that lean into that. So DSCR, debt service coverage ratio, you are comparing the property's income instead of your own. Like everything comes down to how the property is performing financially instead of you. It's comparing the monthly expenses to the monthly cash flow. So the monthly expenses, that includes your principal, your interest, taxes, and insurance, and an HOA if you have any, against how much cash flow is coming in. Now, if that's 1 to 1, say we'll come up with fake numbers. Let's just say $1,000 a month for the sake of this conversation. Your monthly expense is $1,000 a month. If you're bringing in rent of $1,000 a month, that's 1 to 1. That is the baseline qualification for a DSCR loan. Now, anything above that, you'll have a better chance of qualifying for it. It'll work more in your favor.
So, what do they look at? Do they need to, you're saying that you don't have to do your personal stuff. So, I'm not waiting to do my tax returns. I'm not giving my firstborn to the bank for this loan. Tell us more about that.
Yes, they're not going through all your personal information with a fine-tooth comb. Like I was on a Zoom, let's see, it was yesterday, and this guy was talking about his experience with trying to get loans through banks. And he's a bald guy for reference, and he goes, they were asking me for hair that I didn't have. And everybody thought that was so funny. So there are three things that the lenders do look at. The first one is your credit score. We like to see a 680 or greater. Your experience, obviously, the more experience you have is better. However, there are products for first-time investors if you don't have much experience under your belt. And then the third thing they like to see is 3 to 6 months of cash reserves. This is just to make sure that you're able to keep the property stabilized. If the tenant leaves or just something happens where there isn't cash flow coming in from a tenant in there, the property is still there's still money to keep it afloat. There's still money to keep it stabilized.
So another loan that you like to work in that you mentioned were fix and flip loans. We know that they built an entire TV channel on these types of products or fixing and flipping properties, right? So tell us a little bit about how those work.
Yes, and I ate those shows up as a kid. So this is always exciting to me. I love fix and flips and I love to help fix and flippers. Our fix and flip loan products look like they're short-term loans, and these are what our numbers look like. So on the purchasing side, we can do 80 to 90% of the purchase price. We can do up to 100% of the reno costs. And then we can do that with a max combined loan up to 75% ARV after rehab value.
Oh, awesome. So if you find a property, you can get in it for as little as 10% down.
Yes.
Now you've added value.
Yes, so they have two options as soon as the rehab is done. First, you can either sell it, sure it looks glamorous, and you can pull a Chip and Joanna of being like, okay, now it's your dream home, da, 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 da. Or then you can hold the property, you can keep it by refinancing into that DSCR loan.
That's great. That's fantastic. So, okay, so those are two great products, and both of those can kind of work for any place that you are on the investment spectrum, whether you're brand new or coming in new. You might need somebody to come in with you with experience if you're trying to do fix and flips, if it's especially if it's too big of a project. So you mentioned there were three types of products. What was that third one?
Yes, our third loan product that we specialize in is ground up construction. And this one is more for the experienced investors because there's a few more moving parts, there's a few more variables. And so this one, like ground up construction, you start with the land itself. You can either purchase the land or maybe you already have land that you've purchased. And so what it looks like is now you've got plans. You've got plans to either build a single family home on this land, you can build a small subdivision, or you can even build a multi-family project. Like there is so much you can do with this, so many moving parts, and that's why you need more experience. So what's cool about this is that we have lenders that after you've got the land portion figured out, they can lend on the horizontal development. So that's things like you can get the curbs done, the utilities and the roads. That's also the permitting phase. Then we also have lenders that lend on the vertical construction side. So that's actually the structures that you're building up. So whether that's like the actual building itself, actual multifamily itself, but that's all three pieces. So the land itself, the vertical, and the horizontal.
Wow. So you're helping people do any or all of the above, depending on where they are in the process. And this is huge. I think that getting the word out there and letting people know, I know me being in real estate for 25 years, didn't really understand the money side. I had great lenders that I sent my retail customers to, and then I stepped back. I didn't pay any attention to it. And this opens up so many doors as somebody that wants to put their wealth in a place that they can actually grow their wealth, live more, if you have enough properties with the passive income. Everybody's always talking about having that passive income. And even more than that, being able to leave something behind for the next generation as we're commanded to do. So I love it. I'm so excited. It looks like you're super, super happy and you're just glowing on this journey that you're on. So how do people get a hold of you if they want to talk about their plans, if they want to talk about their dreams, if they're just ready to go jump into that project?
Yes. First, you can visit our website, silverlioncapitalgroup.com. I've got a little box in there where you can schedule a Calendly link to talk directly about your project that I'm so excited to hear. So that's probably the first way. And then the more personal approach, I am on social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. My username, you can just type my name, Grace Plata, Plata, or my handle, Instagram, TikTok is Real Grace Plata, like real estate. I made that before I was in real estate, so I just think that's funny. But you can find me on any of those platforms, and I'd be happy to talk with you guys.
That's awesome. Thanks so much for your time, Grace. It's been great learning a little bit about what you've been doing, what brought you here, and these different products you've got. And I'm excited for people to be able to connect with you and you help them design something amazing going into their future.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm so excited to help your community and help the ladies that you have on this podcast.
Awesome. Thanks, Grace.